Genetically modified food is a developing means of food production in which biotechnology scientists put together different genes in one crop for a desired trait. This means of food production has been touted as very productive as farmers will have to cultivate little land and harvest more due to the insect resistance nature of genetically modified seeds. Unfortunately, the GM debate has generated controversy across the globe. Research shows that so far, 17 European countries and 4 African countries have begun commercial production of genetically modified food. In India, the growth of their cotton industry as the second world largest cotton exporter is attributed to the cultivation of BT cotton, a type of GM. But the impact on local farmers has been the monopoly in seed supply and the less use of farmlands. In Ghana, the agricultural sector is still struggling to catch up with modernization and with a high demand for food due to the escalating Ghanaian population. Some stakeholders in the agri sector believe the timing for GM adoption is now.
I actually appended my signature to the CAADP Compact, which enjoins Ghana to be part of the science and technology driven world. To use science and technology to improve upon agriculture, we cannot be left out. And we are now in the global village.
It's going to improve the agri sector tremendously. Food is going to be available for everybody to eat, and it is going to be good food.
Contrary to their argument, Food Sovereignty Ghana, an anti-GM food advocate and a member of the Seed Producers Association, have strong reservations about GMOs.
GM foods really is a form of controlling populations, because the seeds that we grow, you'll no longer be able to harvest a cob of corn, dry it in your warehouse, pick off some of the seeds and plant it again next year. You'll have to go to someone to buy a new set of GM seeds. So in effect, you're taking away the power from the farmers. And this is something they've done for millennia.
I believe strongly in the next 50 years, maybe. But right now, if you bring it, we'll even be worse off. Because the simple things that we should do to increase our yield, we are not able to do it. The farmers are not able to purchase a hybrid seed which costs only 6 Ghana cedis.
With this growing controversy, how different are genetically modified foods from conventional ones? Dr. Atipo is the focal person for the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology, the Ghana chapter.
GM foods are the same as the conventional foods. The only difference is that with conventional foods, it takes a long time to grow. And you cannot pick a desired trait because you just grow it and all the traits, will manifest. But with GM foods, you are specific and it takes a short time, to produce such crops. But the food itself is the same.
Ahead of Ghana's adoption of the new technology, in February 2015, the National Biosafety Authority was established and given the mandate under the Biosafety Act of 2011 to regulate and grant permits to companies and individuals before GMO commercial production. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the National Biosafety Authority, Eric Amanin Okorie, Ghana is currently researching into the adaptability of BT cotton and cowpea, after which recommendations will be made for adoption. He highlights some considerations before GM foods permits are granted.
We don't want to see any toxin. We don't want to see any added allergenicity. We don't want to see anything making it different from the conventional, except the added gene. So let me say that biosafety ensures that the food that is coming out is as safe as the conventional.
Perceptions abound on the health risk consumers of GM foods are exposed to. Some argue that GM foods are the cause of early childhood cancers and the like. Leading GM campaigner in Ghana, Dr. Atipo debunks all these assertions.
People buy and they eat and nobody has grown horns or the ears prolonged or the tongue protruding and so on, like the aunties are saying.
Ghana is yet to commercialize GM foods, and the concern, however, is that Ghanaians are already consuming GM food due to the lapses in regulating food imports.
The borders that we have are porous, and anybody can pass anywhere with GM products, and people will consume. So I will not be surprised. Even some of the foods we are importing may be GM.
The good news for the Ghanaian, however, is the Biosafety Act of 2011 makes provision for the labeling of GM foods and offers the Ghanaian the option to choose between GM food or the conventional one. Reporting for VAS at One News, I am Priscilla Selinam Suga.